All set.
Look into talk to me.
You good? You know, Big 12 Defensive Line of the Week honored. What's it been like to see your group really come together and put it all together this past week?
I mean, it was refreshing, man. It's been a long time coming, but I'm really proud of these guys about putting it together. We got out there the first series and didn't quite do what we thought we would do, but I mean, they got it together on the sideline and came together and rushed the pass.
And Prince, Defensive Player of the Week. What's it been like to see his growth and how he's come along in his career?
Man, he's had the hot hand since I got here. We just kind of waited to see it happen. I mean, he finally cashed in on his opportunities this past week, and it was fun to see. It was fun to see all the guys kind of rally around him too. So it was great.
How have you kind of just kept that confidence in him? He's been going through injuries, transferred into Texas a couple of years ago, and let him know that he's still that guy.
When you see it in a guy, I mean, you just got to make sure he gets out of his own head. And I think he finally said screw it and got out of his own head this game and really put it on tape, man. The combination of moves and things that he used and as dialed in as he's been, it was good to see it come to fruition.
And what was that strip sack like to see on the sideline? I mean, that was a pretty incredible play.
It was incredible. I mean, we talked about it all week long about how the guy was loose in the pocket with the ball. And when Prince came to the sideline, he said, "Coach, the ball was there just like we said it would be," and I just took it. I was like, man, that was great to see.
Coach, all offseason when talking to Coach Ward, it was about generating more explosives than last year, and you guys are averaging almost 4 sacks a game, one of the nation's leaders. How's it been so far, kind of seeing that growth in terms of being able to really get to the quarterback and bring him down this time of year?
Well, the guys are learning that you rush together. We talked about it the other day that rushing the pass is a math problem. I mean, there's 4 rushes and there's 6 gaps. So I mean, at some point, you got to make sure you work together. And as long as we continue working hand in hand, whoever has the hot hand is gonna make it. And the other guy's gonna rally around him and make sure he gets it.
So what's that progression like then? And you said obviously you guys are learning to play together, but how does that process go? What are you kind of telling them about? Like how do you go from not doing that to doing that?
And the biggest thing is just putting more onus on the group. Actually, they call a lot of the games and stuff on the field. I make sure that they have a Rolodex of calls that they can call. And we talk about it on the sideline. Hey, next third down, what are we looking like? Hey, next third down, who wants to one-on-one on whatever guy? So we have those conversations on the sideline. And as the game goes, I mean, I kind of let it kind of shape itself with what the guys think they need.
And with the amount of experience you guys have in that position group, does that help? Like, have you seen anybody take onus during that leadership role as well, being like, hey guys, we might have to do this differently, or maybe we have to progress in this way in order to do what we want to do?
No, you see Anthony Cooper, he's out there on that third down. He's kind of a general out there on the third down package. He'll have the Rolodex of calls. He'll call it. We'll talk about different things. Now we have CJ out there as well. Just like I said, giving guys keys to be able to be successful is the biggest thing. And if you give them ownership, they'll fix the problem.
And Coach Dillingham talked on Monday about you being a real mentor personally and being a guy who's a player progressor. What is that like for you and being able to not only get that praise from Coach, but really enjoy the passion of improving players on the football field?
Well, I definitely appreciate the shout out from Coach for that, but that's what we're in it for, to see the growth and development of young men, on and off the field. It can't just be about the game. The game will come, but when you give them responsibility within the game, I think all that stuff will creep over into the lifestyle and everything else.
Coach, you talked about how dominant that defensive line is good. Could you kind of harp on how important and vital Clayton Smith has been to this team?
Man, Clayton's a special talent. Just spending time getting him pointed in the right direction. The more he continues to learn and grow in this game, he's going to give people problems. He brings the length and the speed on the field that, heck, I'll be honest, I wouldn't want to line up against. But as we continue to grow as a unit, Clayton's going to play a very vital role.
Talk about Clayton a little bit on the field. There's a story that's out there. I guess, what does that say about, what was your reaction if you ever heard about that story? Weird obsession with
So I'm a country boy myself, so I grew up with reptiles and everything now, so it doesn't bother me. It reminds me a lot of my brother. So we had boa constrictors in the house, and we had salamanders and all kind of things. Clayton's just like that. He goes and buys pet snakes and pet iguanas and all other kind of things. you know, we just try to make sure he doesn't throw him at our head coach and give him a heart attack. So.
I know he tried once.
He did. He really did.
Were
so
you there that day?
I was there. I just kind of shook my head. He's hiding around the corner, getting ready to scare Dylan. I was like, man, don't be scared of snakes, man. I'm like, some people are just scared of snakes, but don't. Yeah, he's a little bit different.
Did he ever try to get you with something like that?
That wouldn't. Snakes don't bother.
With your combination of NFL experience and college football experience, I guess how do you combine each of those experiences in your coaching philosophy that you have now?
Well, I mean, it's about giving the players tools, teaching them what to look for. So on a week in and week out basis, as they study the game, you know, they don't just come waiting for answers from you. They come with hopefully answers to the test as well. And I think that goes along with, you know, just getting guys locked into the plan. And I think, you know, this last week, you know, for example, just as locked into the plans as we've been. And you know, I just really appreciate the work that the guys continue to put in. Try to treat them like pros, man. You try to grow them as you want them to become. And sometimes that takes a little bit longer because sometimes they don't understand the why. When they finally understand the why, things change for them.
I stepped in here a little bit late, so if I ask this question, repeat, I'm sorry. What was it like to see a guy like Prince like dominate everything you've been preaching for 2 years now and see him to turn in that kind of performance?
You could see a switch on the sideline. Like I said, after the first series, you know, we didn't get what we wanted out of the first third down. You know, we all had some words with each other, and we got it together. And, you know, to see Prince lock in, you could just see a switch go off in him right then. He locked in, everybody else locked in, and we felt like we got the answers right to the rest of the test.
Swoop sack was probably the big play in the game.
It was beautiful. I mean, like I said, you know, we had practiced and talked about it all week long, and I mean, he actually went out there and did it. And the ball was there like we talked about during the week, and he took advantage of the situation. It was awesome.
With the bye week, is there anything in particular you're looking to harp on with the guys or try to improve upon between now and going up against Utah?
You know, continue to, you know, harp on that pass rush, you know, giving them some responsibility to do it on the field and as a unit. And the biggest thing is rest, get your bodies right, man. This is a long haul. You know, if they can take some time to, you know, outside of football, inside of football, to rest their minds and get their bodies right, that's going to be the biggest thing for the long haul.
Obviously, you got a while before you end up playing up against Utah, but they have some pretty formidable offensive linemen guys that are on draft boards. So what is that like for you to kind of see the guys go up against another high-level opponent that has some guys that are pretty talented on
I mean, it's exciting for me because I love to prepare. And, you know, as long as we get our guys prepared, I think we'll be ready. But the biggest thing is, you know, when you get guys with, you know, that kind of talent that they're putting on draft boards already, if guys want to measure up, these are the guys you got to measure up against.
Thank you.
Coach.